From the ancient time, wedding is among the most sacred and meaningful days of one's life. On this special day, the groom will come to the bride's house along with a lot of valuable wedding presents. Standing in front of the ancestor altar, the new couple prays and wishes for a prosperous forward before they become a new family and live happily forever after.
Wait, hang on. This is a traditional wedding in Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what would it be in other countries?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
I've been up all night, no sleep, 'cause I feel like I'm always dreaming all night, no sleep, 'cause I feel like I'm always dreaming. 'Cause I feel like I'm always dreaming.
Hey Jack, it's nice day, right?
Yes, the weather is nice. So, in such a great day like this, you know what to do?
How about we go find out the wedding ceremony and the marriage practice in foreign country?
Yes, good. Let's conduct the interview.
Sounds great. Go. How was your first impression about Vietnamese wedding?
Different. So in UK, all the pictures are taken on the day,
On the day.
but in Vietnam, you go away pre-wedding and have photos. So my wife had 5 dresses, got changed 5 times, and I had one like suit, and we spent all day there. And 1,000 pictures later, because Vietnamese people like a good picture. Why are you laughing? You do.
Yes.
You all like
Yes, they're
pictures,
right.
pictures,
Yes.
pictures. So yes, so we had pre-wedding photos, which was really good. So the church is where they go for the ceremony. So that is where they formally, legally get married in the church, and then they will go away to a separate place and have a reception and have a big meal. They have speeches, people bring presents for the bride and groom, big cake, and then they have like a disco, a bit like your karaoke, but yeah. So
And the day to celebrate is usually decided by whom?
It's the wedding day.
well, it's normally a Saturday, but who decides is the bride and groom will have a discussion. Then they will then try and find the church that they. So normally it's in the area where the bride lives. So if the bride lives in this certain area, then the church can marry there. So it's just speaking to the church then and finding a date that's fitted around. So say I wanted to get married in July, then I would go to the church and say, right, have you got a date for in July? And if they say no, then we'll go to August, or you know.
But usually it's 2 years in advance because it's so expensive.
2 years.
Yeah.
Around
Yeah.
everything around £30,000.
Which is 1 billion. So you're talking for a wedding in the UK, you're talking
Yeah.
about £1 billion.
Yeah. And the bride's
Easy.
father pays
Easy.
everything.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if you think the reception, so where they go and eat and drink, you know, you're talking if you have 200-300 guests, you know, that's a lot of money to
Yeah.
spend on the hall itself.
And then maybe
could pay
£15 each person.
Yeah.
£15, £20.
the venue
Per head.
a nice place. You could spend between £3,000 to £5,000 on just a nice
A nice
venue.
place. And in England, the bride, she has to wear something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. So something old, maybe she will borrow something from a mother or a grandmother. something new, or maybe she will buy something special, or even the dress is new. Something else, something borrowed. So you have to borrow maybe earrings, necklace. You will borrow, and then something blue. Usually it's garter on your leg, and you make this blue.
Yeah.
And in England, tradition, you can only wear white if you're a virgin.
Yes.
No virgin, no white.
So, and same if you get remarried. So that's why there's a lot of ivory dresses. They're not white. They're ivory coloured. So cream coloured.
It's because no
So,
virgin. And the veil, the bride, when she's going down the aisle, she will cover her face. But when she gets to her husband, she has to take it off. So he can make sure it's... Because in the olden days, they used to say, here's my beautiful daughter. And then they will take the ugly daughter, cover her, marry, and then lift it up, and it's the ugly sister, not the beautiful one. So that is also a tradition. When you get to the altar, you must show your husband it's you.
So also when you do like when you meet for the first time, so in a tradition in Vietnam you have like tea ceremony and the presents.
Yes.
So see I know. So we don't really do that. However, the father, because that tradition is giving away the bride, the father will give away the bride on the day. So walk down in the church, they'll walk down the aisle, and then the vicar will say, do you
Who gives this woman?
Who gives this woman
And the father gives the woman to the man.
to the man then?
And then the
So-
father steps back and sits down.
Also in the ceremony, the groom will have a best man, and he will take care of the wedding rings and everything, and he does speeches. So he keeps hold of the rings. So then he looks after the day for the bride and groom. He's in charge of the day really. So and then the bride will have what they call a chief bridesmaid, and she looks after all the side for the bride and things like that. So.
Oh, and the bride's father, he pays everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bride's father.
Yeah.
Everything.
So basically, the groom will probably pay for the church and for the rings and maybe the bridesmaids' dresses and the presents, because you give presents to the best man and the chief bridesmaid. So the groom may take care of that, but everything else traditionally is taken care by the bride's father, and he pays for everything.
And just before the wedding in England, we have a hen party. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So all the
men-
girls.
And the men have stag party.
So all the girls go out and have a big final drinking session,
Only
and
girls,
the men
no men.
and the men have a stag party and go away, and it's only men, and they go drinking. So that's their final like thing before they come together and get married.
And that one is big tradition. Still today, everybody.
Special, it's more like you do vows, so you have a set tradition where you will like say vows together. So like when you give a ring, it'll be a special. The priest will say the words,
Yes.
and you say "I marry you" type thing, for better for worse. And lastly, halfway through the ceremony, the vicar or the priest will say, "Anybody think of anything why these two people cannot marry, then you have to say." So he has to legally say,
Speak now.
Speak
or
now.
Forever hold your peace.
yeah, so speak now or forever hold your peace. And if there's silence, then he carries on with the wedding. If someone was to say something, hey, then the wedding would probably stop.
Yeah, the Polish tradition is that you are actually, instead of fathers taking you to church, you both going together to church. And then you've got the wedding ceremony. And after that, the parents greet you in the reception with bread
And salt.
and vodka.
Vodka. Yeah.
With the just because in Poland it's most of the Polish people, the Roman Catholics, like just
and that was like in history always in church. But these days, like a lot of younger people, just they don't go to church, and then you can have wedding like in America. You can have it in your garden, in your house, but you need like a registered wedding celebrant, because they have to give you paperwork that you married. Yeah, and they registered in the government, you know, just to give you a stamp. You're officially married.
Both.
Both. Yeah, in Poland is both sides, like just.
So they have to discuss.
Yeah, they like just it's not like some countries like the marriage are arranged, like just, you know, the parents go and ask for the daughter. In Poland, like just young people, well, just even like in our age, like just the people just meet somewhere like in cafe.
Fell in love.
And if they fell in love, they decide to get married. And then there is a big wedding. Well, depends, some weddings there, but then and it goes till morning, like just once the party starts, like finish 5 o'clock in the morning.
Or sometimes takes 3 days.
Sometimes takes 3 days. Then it's got a bit of break, and the next day is again, but it's smaller, less like just people. It's just always, since we've been little, like just always very Western traditional. The bride got a white
Dress.
long dress,
Yeah.
just
Not
and
necessarily
no, these days
long.
not, but in old days like just very long, but now they can go shorter. For the men, it's just suit, like just white shirt, like this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. It's just.
But it is part of Poland when they very traditional. For example, south part of
Highlanders,
Poland,
like in the mountains, like.
in the mountains,
Yeah.
people wear traditional dress, which is very colorful. Lots of flowers, red color, white color. So and the men wear special hat with the decoration on. So,
Yes.
but that's only one part
Yeah,
of
well,
Poland.
only, but most of the countries,
Yeah.
like just wherever you go is the same.
Yes.
The same pattern, like just.
Yes.
So in different area of Poland, there will be different.
Only one
No,
area.
only one in the mountains, like just what they call Highlanders. The people are just living
Yeah.
high up in the mountains. Like just they've got like a bit different tradition, like, and just they dress differently. But every day they dress the same. But just for the weddings,
For the
they
weddings,
just
yes.
they wear the traditional clothes, like just.
But the rest of the Poland is very
But the
traditional.
universal, the same everywhere.
Well, one custom is that the bride throw off her hat, yeah,
Hat.
hat, like
Hat?
the
Hat?
yeah, and the woman who first catch it will be married like next year or in the nearest future.
Probably nowadays.
In old days, like just just very practical things, like just they would be ironing, like just the iron kettle to boil water, like
Or
just
nice vase,
yeah, just
or
or furniture,
blank.
plates, like cups, like glasses, like. But now it's just money, like just
Nowadays
yeah,
it's money.
Yeah, you just give them like an envelope with the money, and
With the cards.
they can buy what they want, because otherwise, like just you finish. 10 people bring the kettles, like just just how many you need, only one.
Yes.
And just these days it's just money, just everyone cash, money.
So we are getting married next year in April. So now we're really into all these topics. So there are different kinds of weddings in Germany. So the first official one is the government wedding. So you have to do it before you do something else, and you can do it like the own wedding, so with the wedding dress and white wedding dress and everything. But you can also do it just a smaller thing, and then you can do the wedding in the church with the dress, and that's the bigger party with all the guests. And yeah, I think that's two options you have.
Yes, there are two steps. The first step is you have to go to the government, and you have to sign in front of the government that you want to stay your whole life together. And that's like a contract, because the contract means you take care of your partner, and he also has to take care of you the whole life. That means as long as you are married, not longer. So, because The experience is nearly 50% of people who get married sometime, they get also divorced. So it's not very common to stay the whole life together. And the second step, not all people do this second step, but maybe 50%, they go to church. It's not formal, just a symbol of to stay together and enjoy your life together.
So I think only the white dress, but you can also see them here. We saw some shops there. Yeah, I think that's all. But they're nothing special. So this is typical in smaller cities in Germany. So if you're in a small village and you know all the people living there, and then you have to do it. It's called Polterabend. Polterabend, yeah, and then you bring old dish and yeah, you throw it somewhere. We were 2 or 3 weeks back, one of our friends had a Polterabend. It was really fun. So you don't have to bring dish, but you can also bring like the toilets and the washing basin, so it was really funny.
Really?
Yeah.
A toilet?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so interesting.
I can show you a video
Oh,
if you want to see it. It was really fun. Can you see it? They have 2 of these to hold together. Do you see this?